Hey everybody, this is Anthony from Rockin' Prince, and thanks for watching this video. Today we're doing an evening talk. This one is called One-on-One with You. And I want to talk about how I got started to help you answer those questions that you are asking yourself, right? So a long time ago, which was not too long ago, I want to say maybe 5, 6 years ago, I started inquiring about how I wanted to open up a franchise, how I wanted to do all kinds of other stuff. I wanted to get out of my 9 to 5 job. Okay, and what was I gonna do? So um, one day I was at the mall and I saw this guy heat pressing T-shirts, and I was in line because I was gonna buy me a sweater, and he was gonna put a Jack Daniels on my sweater, Jack Daniels design on my sweater, and it was gonna cost me, I think, $25. So that was, believe it or not, I that was a going price that was pretty decent. Nowadays I don't think you can find that, right? Everything's gotten so expensive. But I saw what he was doing, and I started like doing the math, and I was like, man, this guy, there's like 10 people, he's charging $25, and I did the math, and I think I came up with depending on the people, I just remember $250. I was like, this guy just made $250 less than 1 hour. And I just started thinking, sheesh, what could I do to do something like that? So I actually just, um, I actually started like looking at his equipment and trying to memorize it, because back in those days, it was, it was like taboo to pick up your phone, and we had the flip phones to pick up a phone and start recording or taking pictures. So you didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to make the guy feel uncomfortable. Plus, I didn't want to make myself feel uncomfortable. So I was like taking mental notes. Okay, this is what the machine he has. This is the heat press he has, and this is the name of them. And so I went home and I went online and I started looking, and I realized that the heat press that he had wasn't so bad. It wasn't that expensive. And the cutter that he had, I didn't even know what it was. I just knew that that thing did that cut. It printed some kind of vinyl. I didn't even know what vinyl was. So I ended up finding exactly what he had and what was making him money in the mall. Okay, and so I I looked up and I found a website, and I went with that website. Okay, and I didn't have the money at that time. I think I only had like $400, and it was a bonus from work that they gave me, and I was like teeter-tottering, man, do I spend this money, or do I take us out, to eat? But I kept saying to myself, I have to do it. I have to do it. This time I have to do it. And so I didn't tell nobody, and I went and bought it. Okay. But of course, when I was going to purchase the $400 heat press, and that's all I was buying, I couldn't afford the cutter. I just needed to get that heat press. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just thought that I can, find those prints and I can find them somewhere. But the main thing was to get that frickin' heat press. So once I was ready to purchase, the sales guy got on the phone and he called me and he said, hey man, for an upcharge, we'll get you this auto heat press that pops open for $300 more. Well, I only had the $400 in cash, and I said, okay. So there was an option on there, and it was an application or an app called Affirm, and it was kind of like a line of credit that you had, but you didn't have to really go into a creditor. And now I see Affirm everywhere. Okay, but back in the day, nobody heard of Affirm. So that company that I was buying the heat press from, they had that. So I took it and I made small payments, and I finally paid off my heat press. Oh my God, it was so exciting on day one when I received that box. This UPS came and brought this big box, and we opened it up, and it it was a heat press, and I was like, wow, what do you do with this thing? So I looked and I saw some heat transfers, and I bought a bunch of heat transfers, and I saw the lady on the website how she did it, and I thought that I can just press it and start making shirts. Well, unfortunately, that did not happen. I ruined a lot of t-shirts, and I didn't understand what I was doing. So it was hard, and after that it was all growing pains. Okay, but what I'm trying to get to is I made the decision to do it, and that's where you come in. If you're scared and you're in the back fences and you just want to do it but you don't know how to do it, I hope that story resonates with you. You just have to do it. You have to do it, okay? Because if you don't do it, it ain't never gonna happen. You ain't never gonna do it, okay? And stop listening to those people who are telling you, "Oh, don't do it," because there's hundreds of people out there who are already doing it. You're just wasting your time, and you're gonna easily find yourself believing that. And that's the wrong thing for you to do, because all you're doing is jumping back into your comfort zone. See, the mind plays tricks on you, okay? Every time you want to pursue something hard, your mind starts telling you not to do it. Don't do it, or it'll start changing the subject and start making you think of other things. And before you know it, your dream was tossed out the window. So if you think back and you think about all the dreams that you possibly thought of, how many of them did you really pursue? Because a lot of them were squashed by family, friends, or just you convincing yourself not to do it. But that's why we're here today, because I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to realize that you make you who you are today, tomorrow, and the future. Okay? If you're always going to be scared, guess what? You're always going to be scared. But if you think about it and one day you want to cross this line and you're fed up, cross that line and you're going to find yourself in a different world. And once you find yourself in a different world, you're going to realize that, wow, I don't want to go back to that world. I kind of like it here. It's different. I'm learning more things. I'm doing different things. Now, I make money on the side. I make money. And sometimes I don't even ask for it. It just comes to me. I'll get a phone call. Hey, Tony, can you do this? Can you do this for me? I always say yes, even though I know I don't know. But I always say, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. And then I put myself in this freaking situation where I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this done. I got to figure it out. Well, guess what? I don't know how it happens, but the universe makes it happen. God makes it happen. Okay? I end up getting it done. All right? And the chips just keep falling in place. And maybe it's because I have crossed that line to where I am not scared of the challenge. And I know you can do it, because if you're listening to this video, you're thinking the same way I was thinking a long time ago. But I didn't have anybody talking to me the way I'm talking to you. And I'm hoping I'm resonating with you. Because if it is you, what are you waiting for? Cross that line and get busy. Start looking at free content on YouTube to teach you how to get there, because that's how I did it. And one time, not too long ago, somebody told me, hey, how did you learn all this? I was actually proud of myself because I learned it through YouTube, free content, and I taught myself, and I spent hours and hours learning and developing my skill to where people just automatically think that I am good. Okay? And I know I've gotten good. I know I'm a lot better than where I was 4 years ago, but it took a lot of trial and error to get there. And not paying for a college to get me there. And not paying for courses to get me there. Now, don't get me wrong, I have taken courses. They do make sense. If they make sense for you, take them. Okay? But don't think you have to take all that stuff first before you start. Because in order for you to get this done, you have to start. You got to convince yourself, I am not scared. I'm going to do it. And once you realize you did it, now you're in a whole different ball game. And that's where you're going to start to develop your confidence, your skill level, your mindset to where it's going to get you to where you have never been before. And you're going to say to yourself, I'm so glad I did this. I am so glad I did this. Because look where I'm at now. Look where I'm at now. I make money on the side, and I'm still trying to hit my goal. And I'm going to hit my goal. Okay? I am not done yet with where I am, but I've gotten so much better than I was 7 years ago. Okay? 7 years ago, I just worked 9 to 5. I came home and I watched TV. Or I played my guitar. And that's all I did. And I drank a lot of beer. But that's what I did. Okay? And I always had that dream. I always wanted that dream. I always dreamt that I wanted to be my own entrepreneur. And now here I am. I have my own YouTube channel. I have my website. I have my machines in the garage. And I have my embroidery machine that I love. And I'm still developing skills. And now I have customers. I have customers. I have people that rely on me to get some things done for them. And my videos are making progress. My business is growing. Okay? And now I'm happy because I know I kicked off something and it's going places. All right? And I want you to go there too. I want you to build the confidence you need so you can get started. And that's why we're doing this today with one-on-one chat. All right? So I hope this video helped you. And I do have faith in you, and I know you can do it. You just got to convince yourself that you can, because we all believe in you. All right? So don't give up. And I'll see you guys on my next video next week. And peace.